Hello, beautiful souls. This is Sahrai. Welcome back to my channel, This Art Called Life. So today, it is actually, as I record this, it is another 777 portal because it's the 25th. So it's another 777 portal day in July 2023. So I woke up full of energy, which was polar opposite of yesterday where I was flat out. I went through some major upgrade. It was completely unexpected. That's a story for another day. Some kind of crazy journey through the astral, and then I was just processing and clearing, and who knows? I mean, part of me knows. And then this morning it was like boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to talk about the High Heart Chakra today. So I actually did, in fact, feel chest pressure yesterday. Not that it was super heavy, but there was a little bit of pressure, particularly in the high heart area. Now, this is a video I've been meaning to record for a while, and the high heart portal activation I was actually planning to do tomorrow originally. But the messages that were coming through yesterday, I was like, something is just not quite aligned. I feel like something needs to shift. And then this morning it was like, this has to be part of my 8 golden keys, the activation itself. So it's actually going to be included in that, which begins next week. So it's coming. I will share details about that later, but the high heart chakra is an interesting one because it's obviously not considered to be one of the primary chakras, one of the primary 7 chakras, and yet it's quite an important energy center in our physical vessel. So as you might imagine by its name, it rests above the heart chakra. So the high heart, it's about here, probably in the heart. So the heart is a little bit lower, and it's between the heart and the throat chakras. So energetically, it connects the two, but it also connects us to the frequencies above. So I will get into the energetics in more depth. I would also just like to share, though, first and foremost, that the color associated with the high heart chakra is a light green, light blue color, kind of like an aquamarine turquoise. And yes, I did choose this one deliberately today. And the walls, I didn't change them for today. I just noticed this yesterday when I was speaking with somebody about new energies coming into the planet. She had done a channeling meditation with a guide who was like, I've never felt these energies before. And I was having my own experience. I was like, oh my God, you'll never believe what happened. She's like, let's get on a call. I had my own experience. And then I was just connecting the dots. And I was like, this is fascinating. And what immediately came through to me intuitively was high heart portal, high heart chakra, high heart portal relationship. So I'm still intuitively feeling into all that was coming through yesterday, but I feel that there is some connection, whether it's directly related. I do think there is a direct connection on some level to Andromeda as well. So there's a lot of Andromedan energy and presence coming through in the community, which I wasn't even aware of at first, but I am myself connected with Andromeda. So it's quite fascinating. I also just note this is another color frequency, so this actually is aquamarine. So between green and blue, but the lighter, paler frequencies, this might even be a little darker than what it might be associated with. And I also want to just presence that the ascended frequencies for the New Earth chakra system are a lighter, more pastel version than the primary colors of the chakras that we have been associated with more in the 3D. So lots and lots of clearing and upgrades have been happening on our chakras, and that does include the high heart chakra. So that it rests on the thymus gland, which is one of the primary glands of our immune system. And it's interesting because it kind of goes quieter later in life, and they don't really know too much about it beyond that it's associated with the immune system, the thymus gland itself. But this is precisely where my cancer was. It was on the thymus gland. I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And when I learned of this, that the high heart chakra is connected to the thymus gland, and that, you know, a naturopath had told me that my cancer was directly related to emotions, and emotional trauma in particular. And it resonated with me immediately. I was one that immediately started researching, and I did see 555 just now. I did immediately start researching the natural ways to heal cancer and energetic healing and so on, because I was already steeped in this background of yoga, so I was quite familiar with it. But the energetic of my not being able to take in life, that's what she shared with me, not being able to fully take in life. And my breathing had been suppressed because it was compressing my heart and my lungs. And I will share that the card of the day that I pulled for my free community, which I'll link below as well, is Breath of the Cosmos. So at first I was like, oh, that's a pretty card, you know. I mean, I like all of the cards in these decks, but my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. So this is very much a card about surrendering, but I couldn't help intuitively put together that connection with the high heart chakra, taking in life as well. So it's also very connected to our purpose, our path in life. So if we're feeling stuck or unclear, not really grounded in ourself or in our mission, if we don't feel like we have clarity, there's most likely some kind of block in the high heart chakra, because again, it connects us to the higher frequencies. So it, in its own way, serves as a bridge between the higher dimensions and our body. So it connects us to the heavenly realms and to the earthly realms. And when we connect it to, it's like we get the information from our higher self and it connects down to the heart. So it's the bridge, but it's also the bridge between our heart chakra and our throat chakra. So it's about living our personal truth. And the truth aspect comes from the throat chakra. It's knowing our truth with clarity. The truth clarity piece is the heart chakra, and the throat chakra, and then the unconditional love aspect informs our path forward when we're connected to our true soul's mission. So it's our path, our purpose, our place in the world as well. And it, very much informs how we're here to make an impact. What is our impact going to be? So many of us are in this in-between space of knowing that that old way of being is absolutely not aligned, and yet we're still in that void of not quite being super clear on our path forward. So connecting all these dots with these high frequency energies coming in for the Lion's Gate, the New Earth frequencies being anchored in, our high heart chakras, I feel, are now being called online. They're being activated, upgraded, cleared. So if you've been experiencing any chest symptoms, any shortness of breath, anxiety as well, it could be very directly connected to this high heart chakra being activated, both the regular heart chakra and the high heart. So if we don't integrate fast enough, and this is what I feel happened with me when I was diagnosed, because it regulates how much information comes to us from above. So yes, the crown chakra is a place of receiving the information and the wisdom, but it also does come through the high heart chakra, the high heart portal, I call it. So it regulates how much information flow we're receiving in the form of frequency information. So if we receive too much without fully integrating it, we can have some kind of immune system response, or in my case, kind of a total haywire shutdown. I don't even want to call it a shutdown. It was just that it went like, okay, this is a lot. You're not integrating it properly. I was also in a very toxic environment living in Manhattan, and next to construction, there was black film, and the layers obviously go so deep with the emotional trauma as well, the stress and the blocks to receiving love, all of that. So, and the worthiness is very much connected to your ability to take in life, to receive not just love, not just money, not just joy, but life itself. So it's actually quite profound, energetically speaking, when you connect with this chakra, and it regulates the immune system. So if we're feeling exhausted, if we're feeling drained, if we're feeling like we're getting sick over and over, and that actually happened to me before I was diagnosed. I was getting sick like clockwork monthly for over a year, and I just saw one out of the corner of my eye. I didn't quite figure out what the connection was, but I had experienced trauma. It took me about a year to figure it out, and I was doing my best to grapple with that. Like, I had been going to talk therapy and things like this, but the needle wasn't quite shifting, and now I understand why the talk therapy alone wasn't enough. It serves a role for a short time, but there has to be some kind of embodied form of healing and release when it comes to trauma. Even just emotional trauma, I say just, emotional trauma can compound dramatically. So any kind of trauma, physical, emotional, mental, which becomes emotional, that all needs to be physically released in the body. And I was doing yoga, but there was just so much, and I wasn't in a place of fully connecting the dots, and my path was what it was. But now I can see, and now I can kind of teach from this space of experience of what happens when our heart chakra is blocked, and what then happens when you allow the energies to flow and to release. And now I feel like I just went through another massive upgrade yesterday, and I feel so high energy today, and the clarity just came in. So this is no joke. Like, it really is a very powerful chakra to work with. So I feel that it has to be integrated going forward into our new earth, and 5D consciousness, whatever you want to call it. This has to be integrated into our system of embodiment, the High Heart Chakra connection. So it will, if we do feel overwhelmed, it'll force us to slow down until we get the message. And if the whispers become a cry, become a shout, become a crisis, then we're really left with no option. And mine was in the form of cancer. It can happen in many different ways, of course, but what we're being called to do is integrate and adjust to the frequencies that are coming in. And a lot of that requires clearing, purging, purification of the physical vessel, the detoxification process. So if we're not allowing ourselves time to rest and integrate, and we're not allowing ourselves that time to recalibrate, which is also connected to the nervous system, then we're possibly going to face a long period of time of feeling completely drained and or crisis in the form of diagnosis or something. So on the flip side, when we reach a tipping point, which perhaps I felt like, there's so many layers that we go through, right? I feel like I've reached that tipping point a few times, but this time I'm like, whoa. So I feel like I reached that tipping point maybe yesterday as well. But when we reach a certain tipping point of the high heart chakra being cleared, then the information continually flows down through us, and we are very, very clearly connected to that information source that is our higher self, that is source consciousness. So it flows down like a waterfall. This is the image that I was activated with several years ago when I first started to learn about the High Heart Chakra. And then, I wasn't honestly quite ready to fully receive and embody the integration, the information at that time. So it's been a journey. My journey has been very strange, but it is what it is. But, it's been about 7 years of this being on this path of awakening. And in fact, that seems to be the sweet spot to really become embodied in your full mission. So I'm just about there. And of course I know that there's going to be a lot more coming through, but it's like, okay, this is just further confirmation, it feels to me, that this is the way the system works. Like, I've been downloaded with a particular system of self-mastery, of coming back into wholeness. Healing back to wholeness was the original phrase that came through. It's about expanding our consciousness and our container to receive these high frequencies, but really it's so much about the emotional mastery, but a mastery on all levels of self. So once we embrace the journey for what it is, everything then begins to blossom. And it does take time because we're working with this physical vessel and with this shift. I was receiving very clear messages about time yesterday as well. We may see this process speed up on a collective level. Like, individually, it might not take that full 7 years anymore, to fully become embodied in our mission. We'll see, but I was just receiving a lot of messages yesterday that time is an illusion, and so we don't have to stay rooted in that time matrix. But it helps us to connect with the process and how profound it is. It really is like a PhD training in yourself. So when we actually take that seriously, take ourselves seriously, take our blossoming seriously, and we treat it like an actual mission, the mission that it really truly is, then things begin to flow, then things begin to click into place. When we just dabble, that's not going to get us nearly there. We might feel awake, we might feel like we know the things, but to become truly fully embodied in the mission, in the mysteries and the mission. It was funny, I was about to say mission, but then the word mystery came into my mind. When we embody the mysteries of the universe and the mission that we are here on our particular path to anchor into the planet, we all have a unique frequency, then it just unfolds for us. Then we can actually actualize our mission, to use a psychology term as well. So it is the place of overlap, as it's connected to our path and our purpose and our mission and our place in the world. It's that place of overlap of ourself and our interaction with others. It's how we intersect with the world and other people in it. So when this is blocked, we're not going to be operating in harmony, and harmony is the key for this new earth consciousness that we're anchoring in. So this is how we do step forward and create these collective realities. And if they're not coming from a place of harmony, we're just going to create more of that 3D matrix energy. If we're creating from that energy, it's going to take that much longer for the new earth systems and structures to be created and anchored in. So it requires awareness. And with awareness, this is how we create the new harmonious realities. So how can we begin to activate and work with consciously the High Heart Chakra, rose frequencies? So rose oil, using rose sprays, wearing and working with aquamarine and amazonite, you know what I mean, that crystal. Anything, these colors will help to activate as well. Jade is quite similar if you are drawn to that. tapping, and of course rose quartz. Rose quartz will be a beautiful crystal to work with. I have many rose quartzes myself, but tapping is a really beautiful way to help activate. And you can go through a whole tapping process, but I've done this kind of intuitively a number of times, just like tapping this particular place on my chest, the high heart area. And I do feel like it has an impact on my energy in a subtle way, but subtle can be very profound too, right? So any heart opening yoga postures as well, a lot of it will connect with heart chakra opening stuff as well. So connecting with nature, very, very important, because nature we are like trees. So connecting with nature, receiving the information above, anchoring it down. This is very, very aligned with the role of the high heart chakras. But any form of nature and the breath, of course, the breath of life, the breath of the cosmos, breathing in that beautiful information, that beautiful energy. I didn't plan that, but there we go. So I also just want to share the deck that this card came out of. It has that beautiful, it's more of a blue, but that beautiful frequency. And then the other deck that I work with a lot, these pillars are very aligned with that color. So yeah, there you go. Just beautiful, beautiful activations that come through. So this is going to be its own separate activation for those who want to partake, and it's part of the 8 Golden Keys to Abundance journey, which I received a download this morning to shift the way that I did it. You will receive automatic access to the activations that came through last year and a lot of deep dive content on each chakra itself, and the mythical associations with this journey, this descent into the underworld to work through and clear and then ascend our chakra frequencies. This is essentially what it is, so that we embody the new earth frequencies. And I also received the download to include an Earth Star activation to really anchor it in that journey. So there will be 2 additional activations, 2 additional days included in this beautiful, beautiful activation series. A whole journey really is what it is. So it's a lot that is being included in it for the full package, the full 8 Golden Keys to Abundance and liberation. This is about liberating. Andromeda is very much about the freedom energy, freedom codes. So if this resonates with you, I will share the link below. And to receive the activation, the High Heart activation alone, it'll be Monday, July 31st. And that will be included in my Elevate membership, where there's a whole bunch of other resources, more information that comes through. I share it there in that space. So I would love for you to join us there, this beautiful growing community, and it's very, very accessible. So check it out if that resonates with you as well. And if you have any questions on any of the above, I'm easy to contact. So I would also love to hear from you what you've been experiencing with these powerful energies as they're coming through, how this high heart chakra information has resonated with you. So absolutely, please do like and comment if this does resonate, and you subscribe if you haven't. Beautiful soul, welcome, thank you. And I will be sharing so much more. There's so much more information that's been coming through, and I already have like a whole list of videos that I need to create. So stay tuned, onward and upward in love and light as this thunderstorm rolls in. I'm sending you lots of love. The storm is rolling in to clear out the old, purified by the rain, right? This is how it works. So sending you so much love. I'll see you soon.